3, go.
Congratulations, you are the owner of a new rescue puppy. You're picking out all the supplies at your local pet store. A collar, a leash, a bed, chew toys, and poop scoop. But then you turn down the food aisle. There are so many choices of what to feed your new furry friend. Would you rather have your new family member eat something equivalent to McDonald's or a fully well-balanced nutritional meal? And it's important to know what is in your pup's food and how to determine healthy food from junk food. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, also known as the CDC, feeding your pets raw could be hazardous to you and your pet because of different bacteria, Ebola, and Listeria may be on the meat. However, the CDC recommends feeding your pet healthy food, since a healthy diet is important to your dog's overall well-being. So where do you start? The American Feed Control officials determine a healthy, well-balanced diet for your pet containing as proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, minerals, and water. Even though we know it is important to feed our pets a healthy food, where do we go about it and how? In order to grasp the understanding of how to feed our pets a healthier food, it is important to be able to read the label on the back of the bag and to be picky of what you are putting in your pet's body. Informing you about the importance of eating your pet's healthy food and knowing what to look in your food is a passion of mine, because I have been in the pet food industry for over 5 years, and I just love picking out food that is good for you and your pet. And in order to explain healthy food for your dog, we have to look at the food label on the back of the packaging and see what it all means. One of the most important things to know while reading the back of the bag is that protein should be one of the first main ingredients. The higher on the list, the higher percentage it is. The lower on the list, the lower percentage of protein it contains. You also want to know what you are reading. For example, some bags of food will say animal fat and animal byproduct meal, but this does not let you know what type of animal it is. Dr. Donna Spector describes this as the leftovers from the human food industry. The scary part of this is some dogs do have allergies to certain meats. So in this situation, you don't know what type of meat you are giving them. Another thing you should know when reading the nutritional label is meat meal and what it is. You will see meat meal in more specific forms like chicken meal or lamb meal, for example. This is basically all the tissue of the animal besides blood, hair, hooves, horn, hide trimmings, manure, stomach, and rumen contents that are cooked. This is healthy for the dogs as long as it states the type of meat. The other important thing is that you want to stay away from corn. Although corn is yummy, it does the same thing to us as it does to our animals. They just can't digest it properly. Lastly, on the dog food nutrition label, you want to pay attention to the different percentages containing in the food. Your protein should be around 30%, fat should be around 11%, fiber should be 4%, and moisture should be 14%. Now that we have an understanding of what we are reading on the food label, let's dive into the different types of food. There are many different types of food for your canine companion. There is raw and freeze-dried raw, kibble, including grain-inclusive and grain-free, and canned food with a bunch of different types of textures. We don't have time to go into detail about every single food, but I will touch on the basics. Let's start with raw. With raw, there is freeze-dried raw and raw meat that provide a fully nutritional balanced meal. The benefits of feeding raw will be a healthier skin and shinier coat, cleaner teeth, higher energy levels, and smaller stools. Just be sure to follow the CDC guidelines for health and safety when handling raw dog food. The next would be kibble, which comes in grain-free and grain-inclusive. The benefits of feeding grain-free is less shedding, better breath, and eating less frequently. where with grain inclusive, you will have different grains that will be higher in fiber and protein, such as oatmeal and brown rice, as its ingredients. This makes it very affordable to eat. The last type of pet food is canned food. Canned food has a good source of vegetables and minerals. So now that we know what's in the food and the different types of food, how do you determine what is best to feed your dog? That's simple. It is what you think works best for you and your budget and your lifestyle. Only you can determine that. I would suggest raw if your pet has a dull coat and if you have the time to feed raw, which entails either thawing the raw meat out or rehydrating the freeze-dried raw with water. And be sure to be careful with your food handling practices. Kibble will be best for someone who is on a budget and doesn't have time to prepare a meal, or for a dog that free feeds. Canned is best for dogs with little or without teeth, senior dogs, and dogs with health issues such as weak kidneys. Now that you know what is in that bag of food, the different types of food, and what would be best for your pet, you should be able to pick out the food that is best for your lifestyle and budget. Everyone has a different idea what is healthy for your pet, but I hope in listening to my presentation, you're now able to read pet nutrition label and understand some of the hidden meanings behind the different words such as animal fat. Hopefully, instead of going for that inexpensive bag of dog food or one that is heavily advertised, you have learned to be able to put some thought into what you are reading and what you are feeding, because your pet deserves to be as healthy as us.